It is nearly 6 in the evening, and you are standing at the counter with a knife in your hand. Dinner is late. The chicken is only half cut. Your hands are slick, and there is that particular tiredness that sits behind the eyes at the end of a long day. And then you feel it, a small tug on the back of your shirt. I want a drink. You do not even turn around. I'll get you a drink as soon as I finish cutting this up, you say. And for a moment, nothing. Then it comes. But I'm so thirsty. I need a drink now. Thinner now. Higher. That sound. I'm almost done, you say, gentler than you feel. But it climbs. But I'm thirsty. I want my drink. I want it now. And you know exactly where this is going. You know it will not stop. And you are too tired tonight to let it go on. So you put down the knife. You wash your hands. You get the drink. Fine. Here. And they take it, happy as anything, and wander off, and the kitchen is quiet again, and you go back to the chicken, and you think nothing of it, but something just happened in that kitchen, something small and quiet and much more important than it looked. My name is Naomi Takahashi. I raised 3 children of my own, and now I help raise 5 grandchildren, so my hands have been on small children, in one way or another, for more than 40 years. And in all that time, I have never met a child who did not whine. Not one. My own 3 did it. My grandchildren do it now, every week, the little one especially, at the shoe rack by the door when his legs are tired and he wants to be carried. Whining is one of the most ordinary sounds a small child makes, and it is one of the most misunderstood, because most parents believe whining is simply something you have to endure until the child grows out of it. And that, I promise you, is not true. So tonight, I am going to show you 3 ways to answer a whining child. 3, because it is not one single thing you do. It depends on the moment you are in, and I will show you exactly which one fits which moment. But before any of that, I am going to show you the one small thing that most tired, loving parents do without ever noticing. The thing that quietly teaches a child to whine in the first place. Because here is what almost no one tells you. How much your child whines is not really about your child. It is about what happens right after they whine. Your answer in that moment is teaching them something, every single time. And most of us are teaching the opposite of what we mean to. Now, I want to say this clearly before we go one step further, because I know how these evenings feel. This is not about a naughty child, and it is certainly not about a bad parent. If you have given in at the counter with a knife in your hand, you have not failed anything. You were tired and you were kind, and you wanted a moment's peace. Every parent alive has done it. So stay with me to the end, and I will show you the gentler way. And there is one part, near the end, that the people who sell parenting to frightened mothers would rather you never heard. We will come to it. So let us begin with the thing you must understand first, because it changes everything that comes after. Your child is not whining to be difficult. When your little one whines, they are not being manipulative. Not the way we mean that word for a grown person. They are doing something much simpler and much more forgivable. They are running a little experiment. A small child does not yet have the words or the patience or the sense of time that you have. What they have is a need, thirst, tiredness, a toy just out of reach, and a question. How do I get this? And so they try things. They try asking. They try pointing. They try the loud voice and the wobble in it and the tug on the shirt. And they watch very closely to see what works. That is all whining is. It is a child testing which key opens the door. Now think about what that means. If your child asks you calmly, and calm asking makes them wait, but whining, the wobble, the escalation, makes you put down the knife and drop everything, then you have just told them, without meaning to, without a single unkind word, which key opens the door. You have taught them that the calm voice is ignored, and the whining voice gets the drink. And your clever child learns that faster than you would believe. In my language, there is an old idea, shitsuke, the patient raising of a child, the shaping of them, day after ordinary day. And the heart of it is this. When your child does something you do not want, the question is never only, how do I stop this? It is, what am I teaching here? Because you are always teaching. The only choice is what. So here is the mistake. And I call it a mistake gently, because I made it myself for months with my first. I will tell you that story in a moment. The mistake is answering the whine, not once. We all answer it once. The mistake is answering it every time so that it becomes the pattern. Go back to that kitchen. The child asks calmly, I want a drink. And what happens? They wait. Nothing comes. Then they whine and it climbs, and finally you give in. Now picture that same evening happening in one form or another, day after day. A clever little mind will find the pattern in no time at all. Ask nicely. I have to wait, sometimes forever. Whine. Everything stops, and I get what I want. Which one would you choose if you were 2 years old and very thirsty? Of course, you would whine, every time. Not because you are bad, but because you are learning. And that is what the learning taught you. This is the quiet engine underneath almost all of it. Whatever you respond to, you strengthen. Respond to the calm voice, and the calm voice grows. Respond to the whine, and the whine grows. It is not a trick, and it is not a theory. It is simply how a small child learns what works. So everything I am about to show you rests on one turn of that idea. We are going to make the calm voice the key that opens the door, and the whining voice the one that does not. Gently, patiently, without ever making your child feel small for trying the wrong key first. Now let me tell you about my eldest. When she was small, I was a young mother, and I was tired in the way you are tired now, and I did not know any of this yet. She whined, and I gave in, because giving in was quicker, and quicker was all I had. And it grew, exactly as I am describing, until some evenings the whining was almost the only voice in the house. And one afternoon my mother was visiting, and she watched me, and she did not scold me. My mother rarely scolded. She only said quietly, Naomi, she is not asking you for the sweet. She is asking you a question, and you keep answering yes to the wrong one. I did not understand her at first. It took me weeks. But she was right. I had been so busy trying to stop the sound that I never once asked what the sound was learning. So if you have been doing the same thing, please hear me. You are not behind. You are exactly where I was. And it is not hard to turn once you can see it. So, let us start with the first of the 2 moments you will meet, because there are really only 2. The first is the one from the kitchen. Your child asks you calmly, at first, a real gentle, I want a drink. And then, when it does not come fast enough, they slide into the whine. When this happens, the very first thing you do is ask yourself one honest question. Can I give them what they want right now? Sometimes the answer is yes. Perhaps you are not cutting chicken at all. Perhaps you are only stirring a pot, and you could easily pause and fill a small cup and hand it over. If you can, then do. Do it the moment they ask calmly, before the whine even begins. Because when you answer the calm voice quickly, you are watering exactly the thing you want to grow. You are teaching them that calm asking works, and works fast. That is not spoiling them. That is teaching. But often, the answer is no. Often, you truly cannot stop, not this second. And this is where most parents go wrong, so listen closely. Do not simply say, wait, and turn away. Instead, start by naming the good thing they just did. I love how you asked me so calmly. Then tell them plainly exactly when it will happen. First, I will finish cutting the chicken. Then I will wash my hands, then I will get your water. First, then. Small children live inside those little words. Now, here is the part you must be ready for. While they wait, they will very likely start to whine anyway, and that is all right. That is not the plan failing. Your child is allowed to be frustrated that they cannot have the thing this instant. Your job, in that moment, is not to stop them from feeling it. It is only to show them, calmly, that the whining does not change the plan and does not make the water come 1 second sooner. So you do not argue, and you do not give in early. You simply repeat the very same words in the very same calm voice. First the chicken, then I wash my hands, then the water. And then, this is the whole thing. You get them the water, only when you said you would. Not a moment sooner, because they whined. This is where a small, good kind of patience is being taught. In my language, we call it gamen, the gentle, everyday learning to wait, to bear a little discomfort without falling apart, not suffering, not be quiet and feel nothing, just, we can wait a little, and the world does not end, and the water still comes. That is a real gift you are giving them, though it will not feel like a gift to either of you in the moment. Now the second moment. This is the one where there is no calm asking at all. Your child skips it entirely and goes straight into the whine, and this one is handled a little differently. If you can stop what you are doing, and here, if you possibly can, try to, then stop. Come down to their level. Not standing over them, but down, so your eyes meet theirs, because a small child hears you far better from down there. And begin not with a correction, but with warmth. I can see you're upset. I want to help you. You are not giving in. You are simply letting them know you are on their side before you ask anything of them at all. And then you guide them, gently, toward the voice you want to hear. Now here is a small thing that makes a very large difference. Do not tell them to stop whining. Do not say no whining. I know those words rise up first. They rose up in me too, for years. But think about what they actually tell a child. They name the crime, and nothing else. They say what to stop, but not one word about what to do instead, and a small child in the middle of feeling upset cannot work the rest out on their own. So instead of naming the thing you do not want, name the thing you do. It's a little hard for me to understand you when you talk like that. Can you tell me again, in your calm voice? You have just handed them the key. You have shown them the door that opens. And then, this is the hard part, and I am not going to pretend it is easy. You wait. You wait for the calm voice before you give them the thing. If they try again and it is still a whine, you do not give in, because giving in now would teach them the old lesson all over again. You simply, warmly keep guiding. I still can't quite understand you. Try once more, in your calm voice. Or, when they are close, that's almost it. One more time, in your normal voice. And the moment they do it, the moment that calm voice comes out, even a little, you give them what they asked for right away, and you say what happened out loud. Oh, you'd like some water. Here it is. Fast. Warm. So the lesson lands clean and clear. The calm voice is the one that opens the door, every single time. And you will notice running through all three of these, not feeding the whine, rewarding the calm voice quickly, coaching them back to it when they miss, there is one thread: praise, naming it out loud when they get it right. You asked so calmly, thank you. That little praise is what tells a child which voice to keep using. But, and I will only touch this now because it truly deserves its own evening, the way you praise a child matters more than most of us realize. There's a common way of praising, one that sounds so loving and can quietly do the opposite of what you hope. We will come to that another time. For now, simply notice the calm voice and warm to it, and let your child feel you light up a little when it comes. Now let me answer the questions I can already hear you asking, because I have raised more than one child, and I know they do not arrive one at a time. What about when you have 2 or 3? When one whines and the other, older, asks you calmly? This is where it matters most, and where it works most beautifully, because now the calm child is watching. If the whining one gets served first, every child in the room learns the wrong lesson at once. So serve the calm voice first, out loud. Thank you for asking so nicely. Here you are. And let the whining one see it. You are not being unkind to the one who whined. You are showing all of them, at the very same moment, which voice the door opens for. And what about the parent who is on their own, or working, or both, and it is 6 in the evening and there is simply nothing left in the tank? I will be honest with you, as I always try to be. You will not do this perfectly, not every time. Some evenings you will give in at the counter because you are human and tired, and that is not a failure. That is a Tuesday. This does not need to be perfect to work. It needs to be mostly steady over weeks, not flawless in every single moment. A child learns the pattern from what usually happens, not from one hard night. So forgive yourself the hard nights and simply come back to it the next day. And what about the strong-willed one? The child who will whine longer and louder and test you far past where you thought you could hold? Yes. Some children take much longer. If your little one has a strong will, it is not going slower because you are doing it wrong. It is going slower because they are made of sterner stuff. And one day you will be grateful for exactly that. Hold the line gently and hold it kindly and give it more time. It will still come. Now, I promised you honesty, so here it is, plainly. This will not stop the whining tonight. I want you to know that before you begin, so you are not disappointed in yourself on the 3rd evening, it takes weeks, not days. And there is something else, something almost no one warns you about, and it surprises every parent. So let me warn you now. When you first stop rewarding the whine, when the old key stops opening the door, the whining will very often get worse before it gets better. Louder, longer, more determined. This is not a sign that it is failing. It is the opposite. It means your child has noticed the old way stopped working and is trying it harder, one last time, to be sure. If you can hold steady through those few harder days, calmly and kindly, you come out the other side. But if you give in right then, at the very peak, and I am sorry to say it, you teach them that whining works, you just have to do it longer. So that is exactly the moment to be gentlest and firmest, both at once. And one more honest thing, and this one matters most of all. Not every whine is an experiment. Sometimes a child who is whining is not testing a key at all. They are coming down with something, or they are past exhausted, or they have not eaten, or they are simply overwhelmed in a way they cannot yet name. That child does not need coaching. That child needs comfort and your arms and perhaps an early night. Part of the art, and it does come with time, is learning to tell the difference between I am running an experiment and I am not coping. Please help me. And if the whining is constant, or it seems to come from real distress, or something in your gut tells you this is more than the ordinary, then trust that and have a quiet word with your doctor. That one is not the internet's question. That one is theirs. So let me widen this out, the way I promised, to the part they would rather you did not hear. You may have noticed something about everything I have told you tonight. It costs nothing. No app, no chart on the wall, no course, no download, no clever product, only your patience and a few plain words, said calmly and meant, and I want you to sit with that for a moment, because there is a whole world now that would rather you did not notice it. Somewhere along the way, the ordinary business of raising a child, which every tired, frightened, loving parent has managed in one way or another for a very long time, was turned into a problem you must be sold the answer to. Every stage became a worry. Every worry became a product. And the pattern is always the same. First, they make you feel that you do not know how. That whining, that ordinary sound of childhood is a crisis you are not equipped for. And then, just as you are worried enough, they offer you the fix. Click the link. Enter your details. Here is the free download that solves it. I say this without anger, only a little sadness, because the truth is that you were always equipped for this. The knowing was never rare or secret or something you had to purchase. It was ordinary and it was yours, and it was quietly taken from you and sold back to you at a price. There is no money in a calm and confident parent. A mother who trusts herself does not need a subscription. And so, gently, everything conspired to make sure you did not trust yourself. Well, I am an old woman with nothing at all to sell you, and I am telling you the whole of it, for free, the way my mother told me, over a low table with nothing in her hands. You are enough. You always were. So let me leave you with something small enough to actually carry into this week. This week, notice one thing only before you change anything at all. Notice what you tend to answer, the calm voice or the whine. Just watch for a day or two. Then, when you are ready, reward the calm voice fast, whenever you can. When they must wait, tell them plainly when, and then hold it. When they go straight to the whine, come down low, warm them first, and guide them back to the calm voice before you give in. And when that calm voice comes, notice it out loud every single time. That is all. That is the whole of it. Now, I would love to hear from you. Tell me down below, how old is your little one, and what do they whine for most? Is it the drink, like tonight? The toy on the high shelf? Being carried at the end of a long walk when their legs are done? Tell me, and tell me how the waiting goes. I read every single one. And next time, since tonight we spoke of praising that calm voice, I want to show you something about praise itself. Because there is a way of praising a child that we all reach for, that sounds so loving and can quietly work against them. And there is one small change you can make in how you praise that helps a child keep trying and keep believing in themselves. I will show you that next. Until then, be patient with your little one, and please be just as patient with yourself. Children have been raised by tired, worried, deeply loving parents for a very long time, long before any of the gadgets, and you already carry very nearly everything your child needs. You are doing far better than they would have you believe.